What's up, alchemists? Before you go over to your pile and we do the pile selection, stick around for this part because I'm going to talk about some free readings that I'm giving away. And it's very straight to the point. There's no raffle and you have to hope you get picked. Very straight to the point, free reading giveaway. And how it works is the first 11 subscribers, you must be subscribed. The first 11 subscribers to comment with a question, I will pull cards for you and answer that question. Or if you don't want me to pull cards and you just want straight channeled messages, or you want messages from a passed on loved one, I will do that as well. Now, keep in mind, if the messages that come up for you are too personal, then what I'm going to have you do is email me. My email is in the about section of my page, or I'll drop it in the comments. But I'll have you email me so that I can send you a recorded voice note with my answer to your question. And as far as the reading goes, it can be, you can ask for general messages, you can ask for something specific, you can ask for messages from a passed on loved one. As long as it's not anything about any celebrities or anything crazy like, hey, is this person going to die or not? Like, I'm not doing any of that. But, basic, reasonable questions. The first 11 to comment with their question, I will respond. I will give you a one card pull reading. I wanted this reading to be more on the lighter side because for those of you who have already been following my readings, I am here to give the tough messages that a lot of readers don't have the nerve to give because those are the messages that we need the most, I believe, to grow and evolve sometimes, and encouraging messages as well. I give the tough messages, I give the encouraging messages to help you keep going. That's my two main focuses. And so I wanted this to be a lighter reading for all of us because when I have to give those heavy messages, I feel it just like you guys feel it. So we're going to go over to the pile selection now, and I will see you all at your reading. Okay, if you skipped the intro, go back and watch the intro because I'm giving away freebies while supplies last. Before we get into the pile selection, really quick, for my day ones, you guys may remember my very first video, I did highlights at the beginning of each video, giving you guys like a few quick snippets of the reading for you to possibly have something catch your ear and give you further confirmation that that's your pile. For those of you who intuition may be a little shaky and you may sometimes struggle with picking the correct pile. But the highlights by no means has to be a determining factor as to whether or not that's your pile. Okay, that's just a little added bonus. Now, the other thing I want to say really quick before we get into the pile selection is, I wanted this to be a light and fun reading, something easy on all of us. So for those of you who pick the piles that have the heavier messages mixed in with the warm and fuzzy messages, I just want to give you credit in advance for putting your big girl, big boy, willing to do the work, pants on, and writing that reading out. Because some of them, it's some heavy messages, but it's also some warm and fuzzy in there too. Let's get over to the pile selection. This is our pile 1, which is a clear quartz. And this is our pile 2, which is some lapis lazuli. This is our pile 3, which is citrine. And this is real citrine. This is the real deal right here. Sometimes when you see that orange, so-called citrine and it's orange, that's not real citrine. That's amethyst that they've baked to turn into citrine. And pile 4 is my amethyst. You know what? I'm feeling called to say this, so I'm going to say it. Pile 4 has a grandmom that is passed on, and that came up in this reading. Okay, alchemist, I'll see you at your reading. You can't stand for people to waste your time. It is an easy way for them to never get your time again. You all make other people want to be on point. And this is they remember that you're either a sneakerhead, a shoehead, and that you always have this ability to accomplish these goals that you set out to accomplish. It is an admirable trait. Okay, pal 1, it was a lot of messages coming through for you all. So we're going to dive right into it, because in the minute we're going to touch on really quick this major thing that just happened for some of you guys. We're discovering something, some insight into someone, something where the curtain was pulled back. You thought something was one thing and you found out it was another. That's a specific message that I'm going to get to for some of you all in a second. But first and foremost, one of the main things that was coming through for this pile, you guys are more private. You do not tell a lot of people what your moves are. A lot of earth energy, heavy Virgo, Capricorn energy coming through in this pile. There's definitely some skeptics here. So I was surprised that you guys were even here for this reading, because I immediately felt like I better bring it at the very top of this reading, or else you guys are, nope, it's a joke. Another reader another fraud. Like, you guys are definitely more about what you can see, feel, touch versus the woo-woo. So I was like, yeah, I have to get straight to the point with this pal to let them know I'm the real deal. So what else was coming through for you guys before I get to this thing for some of you all that just recently happened, either in your romantic life or at the job? I want to touch on that, but I want to go over some of the things that came up in the meditation for you guys first. First off, you guys do tend to keep more to yourself. I feel like where you guys step out the most and interact the most with people are connected to work. And some of you guys, also what came up was some of you all are bodybuilders or very much into fitness. This pile overall is a more lean pile, more health conscious pile. If you listen to the summer surprises reading, what's surprising you in the summer, you would have been pile 2, where I mentioned if you're a male, you have broad shoulders. You may even look like you're shrugging your shoulders when you're not, or like hunching your shoulders when that's just your natural posture. But you all are planners, pile 1. You know, you're the type to write out a goal, set a goal, and you do a great job of focusing on it. This is actually, wasn't even trying to get into this part of the reading that quickly, but this is one of the things that people remember about you, that when you set a goal, you accomplish it. You focus on that goal, you accomplish it one goal at a time. But I don't want to get too far into what people remember about you just yet. Because like I said, it was a lot of messages coming through for you all, and there's one major message that is specific. So if this doesn't apply to you, stay with me. I want to get this out for those who it applies to. Either in your romantic life or work life, something recently occurred where Some of you thought a person, a situation was one thing. You thought it was fine. You thought it was on the up and up. Everything looked pristine, good to go. And recently there was a discovery where you guys have realized this person is not who you thought they were, or maybe an employer lowballed you on a salary and paid someone else significantly more. Something where the curtain was pulled back and what you saw was ugly. And it is, you immediately started to figure out, how am I going to make moves to get out of this situation? Because one of the things that came up with you guys pile was that you all are no nonsense. You have the discipline to make moves and make changes when necessary, even if you don't want to. Things that other people, by the way, this is definitely something people remember you by. Things that other people would not have the courage to make changes because it's convenient, because they want things to stay the same. No, if you guys see something isn't right, it's not good for you, it's wrong, you guys are going to strategize, do what you all have to do to make changes in that situation. You're not the type to put up with BS just because it's convenient. Let me give you an example. This is a very easy, common example where we see a lot of people stay in relationships out of convenience, out of fear of being alone. That's not you all. Especially for those of you where this is a romantic situation where you found out something ugly, nasty, that, very specific message. This is not going to apply to everyone, but for some of you all, this person, you found out they have a child that you didn't know about, or something with the finances, someone being deceptive with the finances. And this pile is not the type to stick around for this type of crap. So while you may not just immediately walk away in haste, you're strategizing, you're planning to make moves. Okay, so that was a specific message. Let's get back to the main part of the reading. I just wanted to, for those who that message applied to, yeah, I just want to give you all encouragement that yes, this is an admirable trait about you guys, that you will make moves when necessary. You're not going to just sit up and put up with the BS. So continue to do what you have to do in that situation for those who that applies to. So let's get into what people remember about you all. What makes you all memorable? What is it that people do not forget about you guys? Something that stood out with this pile is perfectionism. Definitely some perfectionists in this pile, but frankly, the perfectionism is admired because you guys do a good job of what I mentioned earlier, focusing on specific goals, honing in on those goals and accomplishing them. So the perfectionism is connected to that. And because the perfectionism is connected to this ability to accomplish these goals that you set out to accomplish, it is an admirable trait where, like, with someone like myself, perfectionism can get in the way. But with you guys, it is an admirable trait. It's something that people will remember about you all. And it makes other people want to get their act together. You all make other people want to be on point. And this is the reason people remember your perfectionism. They remember your discipline. This is something that people don't forget about you, your discipline. When you set your mind to something, people absolutely remember your shoe game. They remember that you're either a sneakerhead or shoe head, and that you always have some nice shoes on that stand out, that people don't forget. Many of you all practice stoicism, whether you know it or not, and it makes you all come across intense because you can be hard to read. And people remember that about you all. You know, that it's a feeling of like mysticism because of the stoicism. Like, yeah, people remember that it is something intense that draws them in, but they can never read you. People don't forget that because they're always wondering what you're thinking. How did you feel about this thing that happened? Because of your intensity and the difficulty to really read you all and get a feel for what you're feeling or thinking. And that is very intentional on you guys' part. You do not like people to see you sweat. You don't want anyone to see you sweat. It doesn't matter what's going on beneath the surface. You feel it's nobody's business. You know, you will sweat in private. Oh, let's get into these cards, you all. Let's see what comes up in this deck. This is a new deck for me that I was excited to use. Now I see why like so many readers have so many decks, because the decks motivate you to do readings. Like when you have a deck that you're excited about, it makes you anxious to do a new reading. So this is an archetype deck that I got. Ooh, that's standing out. Okay. All right. Moon, Saturn. Now, what did I say at the beginning of this reading? Some of you all were born on the 24th or the 2nd or the 4th or in the 2nd or 4th month. Yeah. If you all remember, I said at the beginning of the reading, heavy earth energy, and I mentioned Capricorns. And what do we have here? Moon and Saturn. So some of you all have a Capricorn moon. Also, Aries moon is coming up for me. There's some Cancers in this pile. And man, I want this to be a pot. I want this to be a reading. Like if for those who have been around and listened to my readings, I am for giving the messages that a lot of readers don't have the courage to give, because I want to give messages that are going to help all of us, that are going to help you grow, help you become better as a person, help you get through those tough times. And so I give the warm and fuzzy messages and I give the tough messages. But for this reading, I was like, man, I want to keep it light. I want to encourage people. I want them to feel good about themselves. But for the Cancers here, specific message that came through that I'm going to go ahead and say it because it's going to help you. For the Cancers in this reading, there's some manipulative tendencies there that people see, and you may not think that they see them, but it's causing them not to trust you. So if there's someone in especially in a romantic relationship, a personal relationship, specifically, very specific message. So stay with me for those of you who are not Cancers that this does not apply to, but really quick. If you're having an issue where this person is acting different or you're frustrated, you feel they don't trust you, it's because the times that you're being manipulative, they see that and it's caused them to not trust you as much. Okay, getting back to everyone else. So we're going to pull another pile for this deck in a minute, but I have to say, and again, this is going back to a specific message that I brought up at the very beginning of the reading, but it's coming through heavy. So I guess it applies for quite a few of you all. This card is really tying to what I said about something being revealed about a partner, maybe a business partner, but I'm really getting heavy romantic spouse, something coming up. And this is further confirmation of that, and to stick to your values, be strong through this process. How your first instincts on how to move in that situation were the right instincts. Do not backtrack on that. Okay, again, that was a specific message, but let's get more into what do people remember. Oh, that Capricorn energy. Do you all see that? Do you see that? This is what the top one. That's the one we taking. I don't know if you saw it flip over. Wow. All right. You see that? Saturn, double Saturn again. Heavy, heavy Capricorn energy. But going back to what I said, that this is a disciplined pile. And when you set a goal, you accomplish it. Saturn is all about structure, discipline. It's mature. It's father time. Yeah, you guys don't play about your time too. You can't stand for people to be late. That's also for some of you all in this pile. Also, keep in mind though, some Capricorns struggle with being on time. If there's an affliction in that chart, don't let me get into that. But yeah, some of you all could struggle with being on time too. because of this heavy Saturn placements. But for the many of you, you guys are very punctual and you can't stand for people to waste your time more than anything. That is a huge peeve of you all, and people remember that about you all, that you can't stand for people to waste your time. It is an easy way for them to never get your time again. A lot of times people look to you all to be the responsible one. They expect for you all to be the responsible ones. You know, a lot of people come to you with their problems. You may be the person that everyone comes to ask to borrow money or help with financial situations, and you guys are doing a better job of saying no. And hey, some of you all maybe never had a problem with saying no, because this pile is definitely about their paper, for sure, about stability. Remembering some of the signs that came up in you guys' meditation. There's Aries energy here, if I did not mention that. We already know it's Capricorn and Virgo, but also Scorpio and Sag came up, but just heavy Mars energy, Aries, Scorpio, and then like I said, we already talked about the Earth placements. So I'm going to, what else do people remember? What do people remember about this pile? What do people remember about pile one? What do people remember about pile one? What really stands out that people never forget about pile one? What do people remember about pile? Oh, it's that one. It's that one. Okay. What do people remember about pile one? Did I not just say Scorpio? Did I not just say Scorpio? Sun, Pluto. Sun and Pluto. Hold on. So some of you all have Leo in the 8th house. Leo in 8th house. Then 9th house would be Virgo. 10th house would be Libra. 11th house would be Scorpio. 12th house would be Sag. First house would be Capricorn. My goodness. All right, Caps. Yeah, you all are. Capricorn risings too. Man, that Capricorn energy is coming through heavy. For those who know how charts work, then you understand what I just did. But yeah, some of you all have Leo in the 8th house. And so when I think of Leo in the 8th house, it's further confirmation that you all are private. You all aren't big on revealing yourself to people, like unless they are very close to you and you really trust them. And so you all may have trust issues. Definitely are not one that are quick to trust people. Definitely the type to like question people for no reason, because you guys are not quick to trust. And for many of you all, that is connected to your childhood. Yeah, some things that took place in the childhood, for sure. All right, you all. Shake. This is all me right here. This is all me, specifically for this reading. So let's see. We're going to start with the Astro dice. Man, they keep coming back to this whole thing that that's not the reading we wanted to do. It keeps coming back to this whole situation with whatever went on with the spouse. The spouse might have been a Libra. Or whoever this person is that where the curtains was pulled back on them and they were exposed. Do we want to dig more into that? I really don't. let's get more into how people see you, what they remember about you. Goes that 12th house, more hidden energy. I mentioned Sag. I think that's Sag. Yeah, that's Jupiter right there. So more Sag energy, more Aries energy. Okay, I'm glad I remembered. Pisces also came up for this pile. Yeah. So heavy Jupiter energy, heavy Sag energy, double Sag energy, double Aries energy. Again, I don't know if you all see that. It's probably hard to see, but that's Aries. Woo, woo. Oh, well, the way it's showing up, it's hard for you all. But yeah, anyways, that landed on Aries. So more Aries, Sag, Pisces energy in this pile. As confirmation, these messages are for you. You know, you all are not the type to just give freely to people. And because of that, when you do give, people never forget it. It actually carries more weight than it does with people that you see just giving all the time that are just super nice. So you're not just freely giving it away. When you do give, like, people really remember that. And it means a lot to them because they're like, man, they did this for me. And I know they don't do this for just anyone. So let's close out on what's memorable about pile one. What's memorable about pile one? What do people remember about pile one? Moderator. Okay. So that makes me think again about what I said earlier, where people look at you as the responsible one, the one to go to help like sort out their problems, or if they're in a jam, you're the person they reach out to. And they may be nervous and timid when they reach out to you because they don't know if you're going to, 9 times out of 10, you're going to tell them the truth about themselves. You're going to call it like you see it. But people come to you when they know they need that. So don't change that. Don't think that, oh, it makes you look a certain way. People appreciate that about you. They're coming to you because they know you're going to give it to them straight. And when they know, they need to get it together. And that's where this moderator is coming in at. Okay. I want to do some closing messages for you all. Closing messages for pile one. Are we going back to the deck? I like this deck. I like this deck a lot. So I really want to close with the deck. What's the closing messages for pile one? What's the closing messages for pile one? Okay, son. Okay, we're gonna take both. We're gonna take both. Sun and Uranus, or Uranus, however you want to say it, and Sun and Neptune. Yeah. Further Pisces energy. Now Aquarius energy coming up. But hold on with that. First of all, some of you all are a 9 in numerology. Some of you all are an 8 in numerology. Also, some of you all, a specific birthday, January 17th. January 17th is coming up. Some of you all, this person that we're talking about, their name starts with a J, or your name starts with a J. Also, some of you all, your name starts with a K or an A. I know these are closing messages, but like I said, this is my pessimistic, skeptical pile. So I feel the need to keep confirming with you all that this is the real deal. But, one of the things that is coming up with you guys, this is a new thing that you all are doing. And man, I want to shake my pom-poms for you guys on this, because I know this is not your nature. But you guys are now, this is the part, probably the reason you all are here listening to this reading in the first place. You guys are starting to step more into believing in the unseen, stepping into spirituality. You may have had some loved ones that passed on that you really want to connect with, that you're missing at times. And so your need to connect with them is what's allowing you to open up to things like this reading, and the things that you can't see, feel, or touch, where normally you guys are very skeptical of stuff like this and very much like, show me the proof. But you guys have reached a point or had a recent experience or lost a family member that you want to connect with, something that has left you no choice but to not be so hung up on the tangible and to step into that spirit realm, to have faith in some of the things you can't see, but you just know, you feel, you dream, and you know good and well you're not crazy. So you're now starting to open up more to the spirit realm. And that is going to level up your manifestation powers. See, you guys were for the longest manifesting through that focus, that discipline, that goal setting, which is great. But man, you take that and you combine it with believing in what you can't see, but understanding the power of visualization, understanding the power of what you say, understanding the power in believing, even when you can't see it yet. You take that and combine it with you all discipline, and you can manifest whatever you want. That's the closing message for you all. Subscribe, like, shake a pom-pom for me if you appreciate these messages. The easiest way to say thank you and tell me that this message hit for you and that it actually helped you is to hit the like button, comment. Y'all know you all are private, so you don't have to tell all your business in the comments. You can just simply, you know what, for pile one, since you guys are the moderators, drop the little wrench symbol. That'll be just between me and pile one. Drop the tool symbol for moderators, since you guys are the moderators. Or you can drop the Saturn symbol, since this is my discipline pile. But subscribe, like, drop a symbol to let me know that this message resonated for you and to encourage me to continue to bring these messages for you all. I'll see you on the next one. You all smell good, and people remember that Libra, about Scorpio, Sag, Cap, or Aquarius. This group has a way with words. People remember, you know what, pile two? People remember how you make them feel. And people remember you for what you did to them in the bedroom, okay? Yeah, they remember how you put it on them, pile two. Okay, pile two. Let's get into what people remember about you. What makes you memorable? What is it about you that people never forget? So, some of the things that came up to confirm that this is your pile. For one, pile two, you guys are cramming a lot into your schedule right now. I feel like this is a pile that may overwhelm themselves a lot with trying to do a lot of things. This is a group that some of you cram a lot into your schedule. You try to do a lot of things. And I want you guys to consider looking at all of those things that you're trying to get done. How much of it was essential? How much of it was an absolute necessity? Just something to throw out there real quick for a specific message for some of you in this group. However, one of the things that came up immediately for you, pal 2, was I kept seeing the Don Juan card from this other archetype deck. I kept seeing the Don Juan card. So one of the things that I got for this pile is that this is an attractive pile, and it doesn't even have to be necessarily looks. What I'm getting is you have an attractive personality. And the thing that makes your personality attractive is this group has a way with words. You all are that are quick to give compliments, which really makes me think Libra. Heavy Libra energy did come up in this group. You may even be, I forget what you call it when you are, bilingual. Speak multiple languages, like literally more than two. Or that's a goal of yours. You're working on learning another language right now. But one of the strongest things that was coming up is that you guys really have a way with words, a way with communicating with people and making them feel special because of how you communicate with them. So in terms of why you all are attractive, right? And this is not to say that, you guys can't be like just naturally attractive, but a lot of the things that's making you all attractive is also you guys are very stylish. It is like a tasteful, edgy style to you guys that people admire and remember. This is one of the things that people remember about you all. You all are the type of people that may wear something where they'll see it on you and say, I would have never picked that. I would have never bought that. I would have never picked that out the store. But man, seeing it on you, it looks good. Are good at putting your clothes together, putting together your, the costume that we go and wear out to the world. So definitely this is a stylish pile. You all also smell good. Like, people remember how you smell, even if you smoke. Like, you all may be, for anyone here that smokes, you all may be one of those that smoke, but you don't smell like smoke. Like, definitely getting a mail with a lot of different colognes. You guys may be into different perfumes, different colognes, but you all smell good and people remember that about you. Also, what was coming up, I mentioned that heavy Libra energy, but there was also heavy Sag and Gemini energy in this group. Like, going back to some things that came up in the meditation that make you all memorable. The things that you all say to people, stick with them. Like, you could say something to someone and 20 years later, they remember word for word what it is that you said to them. And the thing about it is, I'm not saying that like no shade. I'm not saying it like you said something deep and insightful. It's just the way you said it. It could be a simple compliment. It could be you talking about a meal that you enjoyed at, or a new restaurant you discovered. But the way you describe it, the way you speak about it, they just remember that. Ooh, and that's another thing. People may bite your sayings, your phrases, may take things that you've said and they recycle them because they like the way it sounds. They like, oh, I like the way they put that. So I'm going to take that and use that, Also, this group may be bookworms in this group, which is one of the reasons why your vocabulary is vast. Like, this group has maybe a larger vocabulary than most, I should say, because, I mentioned this in pile 1 that I wanted this to be like an upbeat reading, because my style of reading is to give you those messages that a lot of readers don't have the courage to give when they're focused on subscribers and a following, versus what this divination tool should be used for, which I believe that psychic readings, tarot, whatever, is supposed to be used to help us along our journey to becoming better, right? Being better, help us through rough times, to let us know those rough times are temporary, and things like that, right? So I deliver the tough messages most of the time, but I wanted this to be a lighter reading. However, when a message comes up and it's important and it needs to be said, then I'm going to say it. And so with that said, I will say this. So for one, people know that you have a vast vocabulary. You might be a little excessive with it. You might like just overdo it with the quote unquote big words. And that can turn certain people off, because it's just like sometimes people just need you to say what you got to say. It's like, okay, it took you all that time to say this food tastes good. It took you a whole paragraph to say this was delicious. Now, you will have people in your life that appreciate that. I think one of the things that you will have to work on, pal, too, is knowing when it's time to use all that decorative language, and when you need to just get to the point and say what needs to be said. That's something that you guys could work on fine tuning, because people do appreciate how you speak and how you articulate yourself. But sometimes it can annoy certain people in certain situations where they just need an answer from you. And look, no judgment, because this could definitely be my pile if we were just talking about that. But I get it. I'm a part of that tribe where, hey, I really want people to understand what I'm saying. I really want them to be able to fully grasp what I'm saying. So, I may have a lot of words that I use to say it with, right? The other thing that I wanted to mention, and we're gonna get off of your communication style after this, but the other thing is that, oh, by the way, this pile, especially if you're a male, you have more female friends than male friends, especially the men. You might be a male that has a lot of female friends. But going back to what I was saying, keep in mind, because you guys are finessers when you want to be, having a way with words. Do know, for the people who are tapped in, people who are psychics like myself, people who are just really intuitive, tapped in, like they know when you're finessing them. And so those type of people, when they see you finessing them, they're judging you. And now they're going to look at you sideways because they're like, this person's trying to finesse me for what? Just say what it is versus finessing me, right? So just keep that in mind. Like you can feel when it's someone that is going to work with that can just be showered with compliments, because this is definitely a specific message for some people. Some of you all are definitely love bombers, but you got to remember that love bombing only works with like shallow people for the most part, people who lack self-awareness, people who are insecure, people who are shallow. That's who that love bombing works on. Like, but for people who are tapped in, people who know who they are, it has the reverse effect. They're going to look like, okay, why are you trying to love bomb me versus just keeping it a buck and being yourself or being straight up. Like that, when you give a sincere compliment, it'll be hard for them to receive it because of the past love bombing. Okay, but we really want to get into these are some of the things that people remember you for, however you receive it. But let's get into some of the other stuff that came up. Oh, listen, pal. Two. I'm going to get past these last two tough messages, and then we're going to get back to the lighter messages. Okay. Some of you guys are flighty, and people remember you for that. Where yes, they appreciate the good time that they have with you, but they also don't know when they can expect to have a good time with you again, and they may not see you as all that reliable because of the flightiness. And then this is a very specific message. This is definitely not going to apply to this entire group, but there are some people here where there's either a spouse or someone close to you or yourself that is dealing with a drinking problem. And whoever this person is dealing with a drinking problem, they are in complete denial about it, and it is impacting their kidneys. I have to say these messages because this is what I do this for. I do this to help people before it's too late. So if you know you're drinking, if this applies to you and not someone close to you, you already know, and the thing about it is, how much do you value your freedom? How much do you value your quality of life? Because you cannot continue consuming, for those of you that this applies to, this consuming alcohol the way you are and expect that there's not going to be any repercussions for it. Like it's actually giving me a bit of Capricorn energy, and what I mean by that is Capricorns in their shadow will consume things that they know aren't good for them and then go consume something healthy and think that's going to balance it out. It absolutely isn't. Like there's no cheat code for alcoholism, for drinking too much. So I don't want to linger on that too long. But for some of you all, you need to be honest with yourself about your consumption and really think about how much you value your freedom versus having to go to dialysis 3 days out the week, 4 days out the week. Okay, we're going to move past that because it's super specific, and I really wanted to enjoy giving you guys positive messages about yourself. So let's get into it. What do people remember about pile 2? What do people remember about pile 2? What makes pile 2 memorable? Yeah, they want me to take that one. What makes pile 2 memorable? Oh, didn't we get this in pile 1? This Capricorn energy coming through again? I went out my way to thoroughly cleanse before we got to pile 2 because I don't want any energy from one pile bleeding over into the other. And I feel like pile 2 is so different from pile 1, but people have different sides to themselves. So some of you all may be coming over from pile 1 because this is more Capricorn energy. But hold on. I'm also getting Leo in the 10th house. So if Leo's in the 10th house, then the 11th house would be Virgo. And the 12th house would be Libra. So some of you all are Scorpios too. I have a Scorpio sun, moon, or rising that's also coming up. And so let me pull another card let's clarify. What do people remember? I should have looked at the bottom of the deck earlier. What do people remember about pile 2? Mercury and Jupiter. You know, this is definitely leaning towards that. The final 4 is what I call us of the zodiac. The final 4, and we're going to squeeze Scorpio in there because Mercury and Jupiter, that makes me think Mercury and Sagittarius. And if Mercury is in Sag, you can only be 2 signs. Your sun sign can only be 2 signs away from your Mercury, one way or the other. So if your Mercury is in Sag, then you will have to be a Libra, Scorpio, Sag, Cap, or Aquarius. So we are leaning heavy towards the end of the zodiac in this pile 2. But Mercury and Jupiter, see, that goes back to that charm. I kept getting very charming for you all. People remember your charm. People remember, you know what, pile 2? People remember how you make them feel. People remember how you make them feel, for sure. Because there's a charming energy here. Even, just being straight up, especially when it comes to the opposite sex or whatever sex you're attracted to, even if they know you're finessing them, even if they know, you're love bombing, they don't care. You do it so well. They're just like, you know what? Let me just roll around in this for a minute. You guys are just that good at it. Just that good at it. What else do people remember about pile 2? Let's bring pile 2 up after those heavy messages I dropped on them earlier. Sun and Mars. Okay, so we got Aries energy in the building too. And more Scorpio energy. So it's heavy Scorpio energy in this group. You know what? People also remember I'm going to clarify because I somewhat just said this, but people remember your energy level. You appear to have endless energy, but what people don't know is while you're on 1,000 around them, as soon as you get home, man, you crash. Because I feel like people give you energy. Pile 2, this is a group that likes to be around others. You guys may not do very well with being alone, and I want you to work on that because here's the thing. When you're constantly around other people, you can't hear the messages that you need to hear for yourself. Yeah, you can come to readings like this and hear about yourself and get messages, but man, there's no better message than the ones that come straight to you instead of going through people like myself. And then it has to be, you gotta hear it in my style of delivery, yada, yada, yada. When the message is coming directly to you, it's going to be heard the way you're meant to hear it. And that is the most potent message. And so when you're constantly around other people and you struggle with being alone, you do not, and the most important messages that you need to hear, you tend to hear when you're by yourself, in your dreams, waking up in the morning, falling asleep at night. But you guys are a pile that get your energy from others and their reaction to you and how they vibe off of you, and that's wonderful. But you have to work on more time alone. It is really going to help you see some things that you're not seeing. Um, it help you get clarity on some areas that are foggy for you right now. Also, could be some people in here that overindulge in smoking too. Ooh. So another reason why you guys may be struggling with that alone time is because this group can definitely have some intuitive abilities that you struggle with managing. Maybe hearing, seeing, or feeling things, and it's freaking you out because you don't know how to deal with it. Just know that's a gift, and connecting with God or your higher power, whatever you believe in, will help you manage that. And if there are other belief systems that you felt drawn to, consider them. Consider them, because if whatever belief system you have, if it was solid, for those who are dealing with the substance abuse issue, you wouldn't be defaulting to that substance. If your belief system was solid, you would be going to your belief system. A specific message that's not for everybody. Okay. But when it comes up, I have to say what it is. Whew. Oh, there's some sex addicts in this pile too. And people remember you for what you did to them in the bedroom. Okay. Ooh, yeah, some of you all are definitely into videoing. That's a specific message. Definitely into taping some things. We won't get too far into details. This is not a rated R reading. But people remember. Yeah, they remember how you put it on them, pal, too. Okay, look, I'm trying to censor what I say here, but those are some of the things that people remember you for. And yeah, I don't want to get too explicit there, but yeah, we're just gonna leave that there. So now let's dig into my stash. I made this just for this reading. I made these messages just for this reading. So we'll start out with, what do we have here? Da Vinci. See, when I think of Da Vinci, I think of the Da Vinci Code, right? I think, for one, it immediately makes me think of Scorpio again. So triple Scorpio energy now. And literally, as I'm looking in the box, you all can't see it, but one of the first things that I saw when I looked at the astro dice was the Scorpio symbol. And so I'm definitely getting duality in this pile, where people would think that you're trusting, but you're not. Like, you don't trust people, even though you come across like this friendly, trusting person. Yeah. Just when I think of Da Vinci, I definitely am going back to you guys having spiritual gifts. Yeah. I just got to leave that there. It's tricky. I'm trying to put it into words, but it's tricky. Let's see what else we got. What do people remember about pile 2? What do people remember about my pile 2? Okay. Moderator again? Yeah, some of you all are definitely coming from pile 1. And some of you are definitely coming from pile 1. But even though moderator is coming up again, which we got in pile 1, I feel for this pile is more so like the peacemaker. Like, you guys don't like conflict. This pile definitely will avoid conflict or dodge it with your words, with your way with words. Let's see. I want to pull one more. What do people remember about pile 2? Give me something good. What do people remember about pile 2? 50 Cent. Okay, so Cancer energy. That's the first thing I think of, Cancer energy. And what else do I think of with 50 Cent? He's funny to me. So people remember how you made them laugh. They remember some of your funny sayings. Yeah. People think you have more money than what you have. And it's because of what I mentioned about how stylish you guys are, how you put yourselves together. This is definitely a pile that, spends a lot of their money on nice things. Listen, there's nothing wrong with liking nice things. I like nice things too. But I want you to know how people see you, because some of these things, and there's a lot of great things, right? But some of these things you may be thinking they're giving one impression with people and they're giving another impression. Even with the people that may think you have more money than what you have, is still maybe giving an impression of superficial. And in some cases, it's blocking opportunities, especially in terms of romantic connections of substance. Those hit it and quit it one night stands, cool. But in terms of meeting someone of substance, those people, if they see you as superficial or if they see you as a love bomber, they're going to keep it moving, because they want something of substance, right? I'm sorry, pal, too, if I've been, dropping them hard messages, but that's what I do. If they're coming up, I'm going to give them to you. Okay, let's see what the astral dice talking about to wrap it up. Wow. More Saturn energy. I think we got Aquarius energy too. Yep, more Saturn energy, more Aquarius energy, fifth house, Leo energy. And I'm getting Aquarius in the fifth house. Y'all keep making me count. Okay, so that would be Capricorn in the fourth house, Sag in the third house, Scorpio in the second house, Libra in the first house. So more Libra energy, double Libra energy, double Capricorn energy. And with the Leo energy, there's Leos in this pile, but more than anything, I'm getting that, keeping it a buck, you all like the attention, and people remember that about you. They even if they can't define it, they remember that you like attention, or they remember that you tend to be the center of attention. Like right now, I'm kind of been like struggling to get out some of the things that I've been trying to express for this reading. And I feel like that's something that people remember with you, how you make other people like stumble over their words. You make people have struggle with articulating themselves. And maybe it's because you're so good at expressing yourselves, they're trying to compete. They're trying to communicate at the level that you communicate versus just staying in their lane. And so it actually makes it worse. It makes it even more difficult for them to express what it is that they're trying to express when they're around you. And then some people are just at a loss for words because they're, mesmerized by the charm. Let's get some closing messages for Pal 2. Closing message. All right. That was a strong closing message. Okay, I'm not taking all these. We'll take the one on the top. Mercury and Pluto. That is more. First of all, some of you all are really into birds, or you love to travel. This pile, many of you love to travel or may really be into birds. Bird symbolism. You may love feathers, have different feathers for decoration in your home, even on some articles of clothing. But also you may have Mercury and Scorpio. You may be a little prone to enjoying a good piece of gossip. I wouldn't necessarily say that you all are the type to gossip, but you enjoy a good juicy piece of gossip. I do want to say be careful about spreading other folks' business though, and speaking on people, especially if you're getting a feeling that they're tapped in the spiritual realm or they're divinely protected. Oof. Yeah, that can come back and hit hard, when you're talking about people that aren't. I'm not saying you're talking in a negative way. Like you could just be telling their business and you just casually having a conversation with someone that knows that person, but still you're violating their privacy because you're telling their business, and you may not even see anything wrong with it. But just flip it around and ask yourself if the shoe was because of this Mercury and Scorpio, you know, you guys are private about a lot of things that people don't even realize you're private about. So before you go and speak on what's going on with someone else, just flip it and think, would you be okay with this person telling this about you? I hope that makes sense. But closing messages. What's the closing messages for my pile 2? What are the closing messages for my pile 2? You guys either have smoky eyes, deep set eyes. Deep set eyes are like this smoky kind of Clint Eastwood like looking eyes. Yeah, those are another confirmation for you all. But give me some closing messages for my pile 2. You know, pile 2 overall, people, what they really remember about you, the majority of people, is that you're a good time. You know, you're a good time. They even if they don't know you well, the time that they spent with you, they've always had fun. It's good energy. It's fun energy. It's a good time. And they may even look back later and be like, this person makes you feel like you know them really well, but once the night is over, you realize, man, you don't. But you had such a good time with them, like they were a close family member or a best friend. Yeah, this pile just feels fun. That is really like what I get overall, is that you all feel fun. But yeah, when you go home and it's just you and no one else, there's some things that need to be addressed, because we want you to be happy, pal, too, when you're around other people and when you're alone with yourself, right? If these messages hit for you, if they helped you in any way, the easiest way to tell me thank you is to like, comment, subscribe. For my pile 2s, what's going to be our symbol in the comments? You know what? The music symbol. Yeah, because I feel like you guys are really into music too. Like, this is my pile that really, if you all are alone, it's just you tend to be listening to music. So put a music symbol, or if you want to leave a full comment, it's the easiest way to say thank you for my time and energy. Let me know that this resonated for you. Encourage me to continue to bring these messages for you all. I really want to give you all credit, pile 2, for sitting through these messages and putting your big boy, big girl pants, skirts on, and taking those tough messages as well as the lighter messages, because my intention was for this reading to be a feel-good reading and tell you all the great things about yourself. However, like I said earlier, if there's a message there that needs to be said, I am going to say it. So just the fact that you made it to the end of this reading just shows the maturity and the growth and the willingness to grow and evolve right there. Overall, I wouldn't mind partying with you all, pal, too. So I'll see you on the next reading. You're really pushing yourself to keep your commitments to yourself. How your exes really remember you is after they get into another relationship. I'm going to wrap up on this card by simply saying, I forbid you to censor yourself. Absolutely things not. That exes remember about you is how you took such good care of them when they were sick, when they were down, and they didn't reciprocate that. They didn't do the same for you. I want to thank you all, pal 3, for your energy, because pal 2 was a lot. No shade if you're coming over from pal 2. But pal 3, you guys really do bring joy, light, good energy to a space. You know, if you walk into a dull party, you're lighting that party up. You're flipping that room around. My intention wasn't even to go straight into what people remember about you, because there's some other stuff that came up before we get into that. This is just a much lighter, fun pile, even though your life journey has been deep. But we'll get into that in a minute. Some things to touch on to confirm that this is your pile, and some important messages that came up for you all, pile 3. For one, there was heavy Aquarius, Leo, Pisces energy in this pile. I think Aries too. Sun, moon, rising for those signs. But a strong message that was coming through for pile 3, before we even get into what people remember you by, is pile 3. For those of you that have some positive things developing for you right now, and even if you don't, there's a strong message to stop telling people your plans. This includes people that you trust with your plans. If you have something developing, unfolding, I want you to master the art of keeping it to yourself until it is fully bloomed. I don't care if this is your closest friend that you trust. It doesn't have anything to do with whether or not you can trust people or not. And I'm not going to go into a whole explanation of why, because this is not that reading. I'm just going to tell you that for many of you, you've already gotten signs or had people say to you, like, stop telling your plans. And you may have gotten a little bit better at doing that, but then you're thinking, oh, well, this person I can trust, so I can tell them. No. At this time, you are being called to not share your plans or developing plans, opportunities that are developing that haven't fully blossomed. Like, do not share those right now. If you pick pile 3 for what surprises are coming in the summer, in that reading that I did, if you pick pile 3, this is definitely your reading, because this is absolutely energy coming from pile 3 from that reading. And if you have not watched that reading, then check it out if you're called to pile 3. This pile is resilient, and that is something that people remember about you. This is the pile where people have counted you out and they have had their jaw drop watching your comeback. They have had their jaw dropped to see that, man, I thought this was going to break this person. I thought we weren't going to hear from them for a while. I thought they were going to disappear. I thought they were going to stop applying for those promotions, and now they got the promotion. I thought they were going to stop pursuing music, and now this album is coming out, and by the way, that single is a banger. Like, this is the pile that people counted out. And what they're remembering now is to never count you out. What they're remembering now is your resilience. Like, man, what made me think that pile 3 wasn't going to dust themselves off and come right back and do what they said they were going to do? Because this is what pile 3 has always done. This is one of the main things that people remember you all for. You don't quit. You don't give up on your goals. You don't give up on what you say you're going to do. People who don't have the courage to go after the things that you go after, they will see you stumble, fall, and think that's it, because for them, that would be it. But not pile 3. Finger snaps. Not pile 3. Do not count pile 3 out. This is definitely my fellow animal lovers. You guys have a natural connection to animals, to nature. Have a higher respect for Mother Nature, animals than others. You're the person that animals are drawn to. You're driving and they cross in front of you and stop. Oh, you know what? The other thing that came up for this pile is Phoenix, the Phoenix rising from the ashes. Yes, this is that pile. Right now, a lot of you are rising from the ashes, going back to where people counted you out. I'm getting a chill before I can even finish. Ooh, yeah. You guys are rising from the ashes, many of you all. And most of the messages for Pal 1 and Pal 2 came up in the meditation. Pal 3, your messages were coming through for days, you know? And as I'm saying that, like one of the things people remember about you is how you linger in their memory. You know, like there are certain people, especially your exes, that can't shake you. And being honest, some of them are mad about it. Like they're frustrated that they can't get you out of their head. I want to say this because this is another important message that you all need to hear. This reading, like I had to push myself to do it. Like I had to push myself to do this reading because it's really nice outside today. I just really wanted to get out and enjoy the weather. I needed that. It's one of my ways of grounding. And I said, no, you said you were going to record Pal 3 today. Let's do this. And then you can go out. And I felt that that was very much a part of you guys' energy. You're really pushing yourself right now to accomplish what it is that you want to accomplish. You're really pushing yourself to keep your commitments to yourself. This is one of the ways that you know this is your pile, because you are really challenging yourself right now more than you have in the past. And it's not like you're not the type to naturally challenge yourself anyway, but you're leveling up how you're challenging and pushing yourself right now. And it's a wonderful thing. I love that for you, but make sure that you're giving yourself grace when you need to. Have a balance. You don't want to push yourself to the point where you have no choice, where you're forced to take a break. Okay. But you guys are really pushing yourself in a good way right now. Just keep it balanced. Okay. So going back to that Phoenix rising from the ashes message. One of the things that I just find so amazing about this pile, that I just really love, and that people notice about you, and just being straight up, some people are kind of annoyed by, but so what? If you were to look at the things that you all have been through, overcome, and for many of you are in the process of still overcoming, people remember how you smile through that, how you all are still happier and bring more joy and have more joy than some people that appear to have it all together. Like people are recognizing that about you. Like this may not even be a thing of what people remember about you. Honestly, this is what people are recognizing about you right now. And you all know this about yourself too. You're realizing this about yourself as well. That man, like I'm sitting up here going through all this stuff. These people are stable. They got this. They have their career. They have their husband, or they have their wife, or they have the house they want or the car they want. Yet these people are not even as happy as I am coming out of this struggle. And people are recognizing that about you. And frankly, some of those people that are in those miserable marriages, or that have the career but that still aren't happy, they're they kind of salty about it. But hey, that's not, this is not that reading. So we're not going to give them too much energy. But just know your fans and your haters are in awe of how you can still smile, laugh, joke, be jovial, and optimistic through everything that you've been through. And what you are, and for what many of you all are overcoming right now. Oh, I just want to, man, I want to give you your kudos. I want to give you your credit. I want to shake a pom-pom for you and let you know you got this. And people see it. They're recognizing it. Like many of you are about to be in a position where you're going to be exalted, where you're going to be in a spotlight. and you've earned it. There are some huge blessings coming for this group. And before I can even finish saying what I'm about to say, I'm getting again another massive chill just over my back, over my arms. Listen, one of the messages that came up for this pile is with these huge blessings that are coming in for you, it is going to be important to remain humble. There may be what you're going to notice as these blessings come in straight up is that there is some lingering wounds, resentment, animosity towards some people that kicked you when you're down. Yo, we are not letting them dilute any of these blessings that are coming in. And the reason I'm bringing that up, where the lack of humility may derive from, is this resentment, this lingering resentment that you're not seeing right now, but you're going to see it when the blessings start to come in and all of a sudden these people that kicked you when you were down start to resurface. Now, these wounds that you've subdued are going to start to come to the surface. And that's where humility is going to be huge, because it's going to be challenging to not turn around and do to them what they did to you. But pile 3, you are further along on your path than they are. And so you have a duty to yourself and the growth and work that you've done to not go backwards. Woof. Oh man, I could tell this is going to be one of those readings because I'm getting so many chills. You may, when I say remain humble, you may think to yourself, I'm a pretty humble person. Oh, you can be snatched out of your humble bag and not even realize it because you're caught up in calling people out that kicked you when you're down. And the way you call them out is what could potentially snatch you out of your humble bag. The blessings that are coming to you, I promise you, it's not worth it. It's not worth your blessings being diluted just to be able to clap back, flex. You're going to have to make sure that you don't allow revenge to win. And we're going to move past that. It was a strong message. It was a strong message. I had to say it. It's a very specific message for only a few of you in this group. Some of you have had substance abuse issues in the past that like most people did not know about. Very few, if no one, pretty much knew about, but people had their suspicions. As some of you all are missing, these are like back teeth that for your age you should still have, but some of you all specific, only for some of you all. I'm not coming for you, just letting you know how you'll know this is your group. This is wild because we're already like 20 plus minutes into this reading and I haven't even touched the cards yet. But hey, it was a lot of messages for you guys. I want you all to pay attention to the moon cycles, okay? Try to work with the moon cycles if you can. That's going to help accelerate your manifestations. It's going to help accelerate those blessings coming in. And so with that said, I'm going to go ahead and get to these cards, and I'll touch on some more of the channeled messages as we go through the reading. But I want to see if we got any confirmations coming out through the cards. What is pile 3 remembered for? How do people remember pile 3? How do people remember pile 3? How do people remember pile 3? I have to say, every pile so far has been very different. It's pretty different. But hey, if you're coming over from another pile, then maybe that's another side to you. But what do we remember about pile 3? What makes pile 3 memorable? Oh, okay, we are not taking all of that. So y'all gotta come on with it. Up. It's that one, you all. See that? Yep. Boom. Okay, I was shuffling upside down. We're not going to count that. We're going to flip that around. Sun, Venus. You know what? This is definitely confirmation. Some of you all were born on the 13th or are a 4 in numerology or born in January or March. And remember, I said that there was Aquarian and Pisces energy here too. See what's on the bottom of the deck. Mars, Saturn. Look at that. So Mars is also, the third month of the year is also Aries. So some of you all are March Aries. Or man, every pile has had Capricorn energy, but also this is confirmation of Aquarius energy too. So for those who know their chart, some of you all have your sun sitting in the 7th house. So this is how your sun sits in the 7th house if you're using a whole sign chart. For example, if you're a Capricorn with a Cancer rising, then your sun would sit in the 7th house. If you're a Sagittarius with a Gemini rising, then your sun would sit in the 7th house. If you're Aries with a Libra rising, okay, so those are some examples for you to know how that works. Mars in the 10th house, for those who know their chart. I'm not going to do that too much because not too many people really know how to look into their chart like that. But man, you should. It tells you so much about yourself. Definitely some astrology geeks here, though, or people that are really into astrology. You also could be a 6 in numerology. Specific message may not apply to all of you, but some of you have been dealing with a UTI for quite some time that I don't think you're recognizing the issue or kind of dismissing it. Again, this is a very specific message, so let me get this out. For those who, and I'll give you some signs of a symptom of a UTI, but for those who are dealing with a UTI, if you do not address this soon, it is going to progress. It's not going to stay a UTI. So you got to deal with it. And I am not a doctor. Consult your physician and whatever else I'm supposed to say to cover my behind. I'm not a doctor, but I will say oregano oil is very good for that. In my experience from people that I've recommended it to. So quick specific message. And some of the ways you'll notice that is having a hard time holding your urine, sometimes pain in the, or throbbing in the front area right under the abdomen. I think that's the right place for it. In any case, I'm not going to harp too long on that, but I wanted to get that message out for those who needed to hear it. Lingering exes. Oh, what people remember about you, like your exes remember you. They don't get over you. They feel like you're the one that's gotten away or going to get away. People from the past, romantic interest from the past, love to constantly resurface, slide in the DMs. How your exes really remember you is after they get into another relationship. They get into another relationship and all the things that they didn't see about you that they should have, oh my goodness, they see them crystal clear when they get into that next relationship and the relationship after that and the relationship after that. And I feel like one of the reasons is because there are some Aquarians and heavy Saturn placement people in this pile where that karma slaps people hard in the face. The way you take care of people is almost like they're not even noticing that you're taking care of them. And the reason I'm saying that is because one of the things that exes remember about you is how you took such good care of them when they were sick, when they were down, and they didn't reciprocate that. They didn't do the same for you. You would be sick and they would treat you like trash or be annoyed that they had to go to the store and get you cough medicine or what have you. And now they're sitting up in relationships with people that wouldn't even boil them a pot of hot water if they were sick. And so now they're remembering how you cared for them when you were with them. And those are just examples of how you care for them, but you care for them on so many levels because yeah, the way you all like you guys, your energy is naturally healing. You're naturally you just there are ways that you got to heal people without even recognizing it, you know? But also I will say what people remember is that they don't expect that. Like this is you guys are tough cookies. Like and may have an abrasive delivery at times. And so your nurturing softer side, I feel like when you are nurturing people, man, it may catch them off guard because you don't come across like people tend to mistake nice people for kind people. And there is a difference. You all are kind, pile 3. You're not nice. I'm hearing there's nothing nice about you. Really though. You all are kind. And there is a difference. People remember that you all don't quit. You all have a lot of energy too. Like people wonder how you keep going, how you have the energy you have to have your hands in so many pots because you guys are doing a lot of things. May have a job and then, but also have your passion that you're following. It appears that you all have endless energy. And people remember that. Even though you don't, you have drive. You don't have endless energy. You have endless drive. People mistake that for endless energy because you're going, you're working, you're grinding, and people really recognize and remember that about you. Let's get to, I'm going to set this aside because I really felt called to use this deck here for you all. Like just straight off the bat, I kept seeing the Empress card in this deck. Dang, I just heard to take the bottom card. So man, I'm not going to question it. We're going to take the bottom card because that's what I was told to do. Okay. What do people remember about pile 3? What do people remember about pile 3? What do people remember? You know what? Before I even finished shuffling, this came up. Whew. One of the things that people remember about you is your tone. Your tone really, when you're saying something, I don't care if you're saying I love bananas. Your tone when you're saying something really does impact people for better or worse. I don't want you all to censor yourself though, because this is a uncensored pile. And frankly, the world needs that right now. It's a lot of censorship trying to take place right now in this world. And we are necessary right now. The people who dare to speak the truth, the people who dare to say what other people don't have the courage to say, we are necessary. And people remember that about you, that you have the courage to say what other people want. You have the courage to speak up and say this is not right when other people may not because it may cost them something. Where you're like, no, because whatever it is not worth my peace of mind, my integrity, my dignity, my moral, my values that I stand on. For some reason, I'm thinking of the guy, the host of the Tonight Show, I think is what it's called, that his show just got canceled for some things that he said about Paramount and them settling, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to get all into that. If you know, you know. But yeah, people, when they want it straight, no chaser, that came up in pile 1 too, I think. Interesting. Anyways, yeah, continue to not censor yourself. I just have to say that. What do people remember about pile 3? What do people remember about pile 3? What do people remember about pile 3? Why are your cards just not wanting to pop out too? I wonder what that's about. I think you all are keeping yeah, some of you all are really starting to listen about keeping things under wraps. Maybe I'm just not a good shuffler. As I say, maybe I'm not a good shuffler. Look at that. This card is wanting to very clearly say we're coming out in the upright. Something about this card that's making a strong statement. Let's see what the strong statement is. All right, I'm getting more chills before I say it. Normally, I'm not a huge fan of reading directly from the book, but I have to, because when I started to look at the keywords for this card, it was almost identical to what I was just saying about us bringing the truth and being uncensored. So this is Muse of Voices, which is the equivalent of the King of Swords in the upright. So I have to read this to you all. So stay with me. Communicating truth. That is the first thing. Look, you all. That is the first thing for Muse of Voices. Communicating truth, intuitive knowing, integrity, directness, honest, leadership, diplomacy, finding spiritual truth and purpose, bird's eye view, blending strategy with intuitive knowing, avoiding manipulation. What did I just say? I just talked about you all being necessary truth bringers, necessary to not censor yourself. I knew I felt called to use this deck for a reason, because the other two piles I only used oracle decks, but for you guys I kept seeing this Muse deck and felt called to use it. And I really feel like we're going to get to the 7 of inspiration in a second, but I really felt like this is like the center focus of this reading. There are many of you that have platforms, are being put on a platform, are being put in some type of position where people are going to be hearing you speak your words. Rather you are writing a book, rather you are leading a team at your job, rather you are putting out music, or you're doing what I'm doing, or you have a podcast. And I want you all to know the impact of your words. Like your words are a necessity right now. I'm going to wrap up on this card by simply saying, I forbid you to censor yourself. Absolutely not. Now, as you continue to master your craft, as you continue to write more, speak to more people, sit more in this role where your words are being read or heard, you will master the art of grace and eloquence while still maintaining your values, your unique, authentic, sincere delivery. And all of it, your audience is going to eat up. Any of you all having reservations about that, this is me giving you confirmation to charge ahead. You are covered. This is what you're supposed to be doing. Let's take a look at the 7th of inspiration and see what we got going on. Some of you all are into yoga, and if you've gotten away from your yoga practice, you need to get back into it. It is really helping you in terms of your circulatory system, in terms of stress. It's helpful. If you've had like this chronic ache, you getting back into your yoga is going to help with that. If you have not gotten into yoga, but you've been entertaining it, it is great for your circulatory system, for your nervous system right now. You're going to need it. You do need it. You all need to know that you all are a star in whatever lane you all are in. I'm literally getting someone that's a dog groomer in this group, and you are a star in that lane. You are a star in your arena. They remember how impressed they are with what you're good at, how you do what you're good at. People remember that you dare to do what you're called to do. People remember that you are actually following your calling in life. Somehow they know that what you're doing is what it is you're supposed to do. And a lot of people admire that. Some of you all are cat ladies too. or have green eyes. And people remember that. People, for those of you who are cat ladies, your cats are some characters within themselves, and people remember your cats. And for those of you with green eyes, people remember your eyes and how you have people locked in on you. Those of you with green eyes, you may find people staring at you a lot. And I can tell this is probably going to be the longest reading out of everyone. But we're going to get these messages out. So, the 7 of Inspiration card, once again, I gotta read this. I have to read this to you all because these are just heavy but uplifting messages that I feel like this group needs to hear right now. So I'm going to read this really quick, okay? Hear me out. After feeling the sunlight of goals met and success tasted, the 7 of Inspiration finds herself with clouded perception and a heavy heart. Those around her have attacked her wins, her path, her position. Some simply don't understand her unique glow and disagree with her, so they try to push her down. Some covet her accomplishments or dislike them. Some have mindsets about success that confuse their own fragile feelings about what they don't have with how they feel about her. She wavers, feeling it all, taking it in, and as she does, her fire begins to dim. It sputters as she allows the external jabber to enter her core. Then she remembers that rising up can sometimes mean others will not agree. She breathes in, she settles once more, she fills her heart with joy. Do not be dimmed. You deserve success. You deserve this success. It's time to defend your spark and reach out in love, pushing all external darkness away. I had to read that because I felt like you all really needed to hear that. And it's just further confirmation of the tone of this entire reading about you guys being a phoenix rising from the ashes, about not censoring yourself, about what I said earlier, where there are some people that appear to have it all together and they're still frustrated to see that you still have joy through everything you've been through. Me mentioning, all the things that we've already talked about in this reading. I feel like that 7 of Inspiration card sums it up. That's crazy. And it was at the bottom of the deck. Whew. Group 3, this could be a whole other reading, but let's see what the closing messages are to wrap this up. Man, I really just want to hug you all, and I hope you guys are excited for what's ahead because there are a lot of amazing things ahead for you all. Do not forget what I said about remaining humble and how that lack of humility can creep in without you even recognizing it, because we're not letting any of these miserable people block what's coming in for you. We are not having it. Yeah. I want you all to know that you are master manifestors, and do not underestimate your manifesting powers. I feel like I said that in the what surprises are coming for you in the summer reading for pile 3 as well. And it's one of the reasons I relate to this pile so much. And it's one of the reasons I started my other channel, AQ Audacity, which is where I just talk about all these crazy life experiences I've had and how I manifested blessings through those crazy experiences. Like, that's you all. You would be that person in the school yearbook that just had bigger than most goals, plans for your life. And people remember how they believe that you would accomplish those things. So what I want you to know, group 3, is if other people see that and believe it, there is no reason why you shouldn't. That should give you all the energy and confidence in the world, because these are people on the outside looking in, seeing and believing these things for you. And so you absolutely should be seeing and believing the same. I'm going to wrap up with a couple of quick smaller things that people remember about you all, if people want to hear what you have to say. But you guys definitely are, some of you all are remembered for having some volume on your voice. Some people remember you for being arrogant. And there's a respect that comes with that arrogance, though. I'm gonna be straight up with you. Even for the people who are annoyed by your arrogance, there's a level of respect that comes with that. I'm not going to cater to the arrogance because of the humble conversation that we had earlier. I'm not going to say it's okay, but I do feel like, you know, most of the time it's like you're arrogant when provoked. But when provoked and arrogant, people never forget it. So that's something else that people remember about you all. Many of you are also extroverted introverts. So many of you all are ambiverts. I think I said that right, which is definitely me. Like, people think I'm just a super extrovert, and I am so not. I actually enjoy time to myself more than I do time around other people. And that could be you all too, where people like remember you as being extroverted, but little do they know you're really not as extroverted as they think. It's just when you're around people, you know, you light up. We didn't even get to this box, group 3. It wasn't necessary. The messages were messaging and doing what they needed to do. And I want you all to continue to stay focused. I feel like you guys are doing everything right. This pile felt good overall. And I just feel this sense of pride for you all. Like, I'm proud of you all. I want you all to keep going. Just know the tips of your fingers are touching that light at the end of the tunnel, because a lot of you guys have been through an extended dark period. So hang in there. You got this. Keep going, my group 3. If this reading helped you, the easiest way to encourage me to continue to deliver these messages, the easiest way to say thank you for me taking this hour plus long to deliver this message for you all, is by hitting the like button, commenting. Each pile, I picked a symbol to drop for their pile. I want you all to drop that microphone emoji, because this group is my truth tellers, my truth bringers. And I don't care what it is that you all do for a living. You all are being heard. I didn't mention this for the other groups, but for you all, I really feel like it's going to help you stay encouraged along your journey. I started another channel called AQ Audacity, where I am speaking on manifestation, like their manifestation stories, basically. My manifestation stories and manifestation stories that people submit, where like I'm dissecting their story and unpacking the manifestation tips and the magic within the story, whether it's my own or a story that someone else submitted. Right now, I have the story of me being carjacked. I was carjacked and my dog was in the car, and it's a manifestation story of how I got my dog back. And for you all, I feel like even if it's not my channel, you guys need to listen to like Life by Lucy. I think it's her name. I think it's Life by Lucy. She's another Aquarian too. You all need to listen to those manifestation channels, podcasts right now. Not even so much for the tips, for the epiphanies that you're going to have in recognizing, wow, that's a sign that my goals are unfolding. My goals are coming to fruition. And maybe for the additional manifestation tips as well that you'll come across, whether you're checking out Life by Lucy or checking out my channel. Right now, I have that one story up, but I'm going to continue to post. I have so many experiences I've had where it just looked like the worst situation and I manifested blessings out of it. Feel free to subscribe if you feel called to. It's AQ Audacity. It's also going to be linked in my channel description, and I'll link it in this video as well. I want you guys to just know, like, the light is hitting you right now. Step in it. shine, pile 3. You know what's deep about this pile? You're liked by pretty much everyone. But the crazy part about it is you all don't really feel connected to any default to you for comfort. Remember that your instincts were always spot on. Go back to trusting your gut. Really value family. Your family means a lot to you. What they think means a lot to you. They're looking back to like your high school photos and looking at you now and like, man, this person has aged gracefully. They look. Let's get straight to the channeled messages that were not only coming through in your meditation, but they've been coming through for the last several days. Of your energy group 4, I immediately got that people remember how nice you are. You know, people remember your smile. You all really enjoy being helpful. However, there is an issue with this group in terms of people pleasing tendencies. For many of you, we'll get more into that. Like your energy group 2, why am I saying group 2? This is definitely not group 2. If I'm being straight up, I feel like because of how nice you are, you definitely attract energy vampires. They're people that at least attempt to take advantage of family members that do take advantage of you all. Because this pile, you really value family. Your family means a lot to you. What they think means a lot to you. You do a lot for your family to the point where you can be self-sacrificing for your family. And, you know, unfortunately, there are family members that don't appreciate it. Very specific message for some of you where there is a spouse that is more like your child than your spouse. This is either a controlling spouse or a spouse that's like a child. Either way, they're draining you. And I'm getting a chill from that. And even before I say it, don't really want to say it, but I'm going to say it. The spouse is a hidden enemy. Like the spouse is resentful. Yeah. This is a specific message. So for those of you that this doesn't apply to, this can also be someone that you've been in a long relationship with. There is someone here that is staying in this relationship or marriage because you think everyone is going to look at you as the bad guy. You're really concerned about what your family will think, especially your children, if you have children. And, you know, I don't want to go too far into this because it's not that type of reading. I'll do another reading for that. But it's not going to be what you think it is. Like, do you want to spend the rest of your days unhappy and stressed in this relationship? Or are you going to finally think about your mental, emotional, even physical health? Because for those who this applies to, it is impacting your physical health as well, which I'm going to segue into the rest of group 4 by saying some of you all are dealing with digestive issues is directly connected to stress. For many of you, is connected to people pleasing. It's connected to not wanting people to be unhappy with you. And so you overextend yourself for other people. And many of these people aren't even worthy of you overextending yourself for them. But people do remember, you know, they remember your warm energy and that you're a lighter energy to be around. And that's a relief to people. People remember that. Some of you need to drink more water, group 4. I keep wanting to say group 2, so I don't know. You may be drawn to group 2 as well. But like group 2, I'm getting a chill as I say that too. But group 2, I just feel like, you know, hey, if you feel called to group 2, so be it. Some of you, your name may start with a K, a Z, or an M, first or last name. It's one of the ways to know that this is your group. For the men watching, you could have, your nail bed. You could have like that bulging nail bed, almost like a dome. You know, some people, their nail beds really bulge, almost like a dome or oval. And if you are a male with nails like that, I did another reading. It was like an end of year reading, I think, is where you were coming through in one of those groups as well. Some of you, your favorite color is yellow, or you're wearing yellow right now. Man, I'm even seeing yellow shoes. These are some of the things to know that this is your group 4. Also, this group is very social, and people would not know that you lack confidence because of how friendly and social you are. There's also a throat chakra blockage with this group, and I feel like it's directly connected to you speaking up to your family and friends, especially your family. There's a throat chakra blockage around communications with your family. There's someone here that works for a family-owned business, like you work for your family, or you run a family-owned business, and there's a like a conflict. There needs to be a changing of the guard in that family business. Like the elders in the family are kind of stuck in their traditional ways of running the business, and you feel like it is sinking the business, or it's just stifling your vision for the business. And so you're not enjoying it like you could. This can also apply to someone that in the workplace, you may be in a semi-leader position in the workplace and feel like the things you want to do are being hindered by someone of a higher tier. This also applies to some artist and your record label. This also came up in another reading from earlier this year, late last year, where there's someone here that has a passed on loved one who overdosed or unalived themselves. That is a very specific message, but that loved one is with you. They're encouraging you to branch out, either apply for that job. Like some of you all have been with the same employer for a long time, and there are other job opportunities you want to go after, but you're fearful of leaving this job you've been with for such a long time. And this passed on loved one is showing you other opportunities because they're supporting it. You're going to be happier. You're going to have more money. I'm hearing you either won't have to commute to work, or the commute to work will be much shorter. Stay with me, group 4. We're going to get to the cards in a minute, but there were a ton of channel messages for you all. I'm trying to get all of them out. Some of you just colored your hair, or your hair goes from a brown to a light red, blondish color in the summer. Some of you here have a passed on grandmother. This is so cliche, but this grandmother, she used to bake, and she was really good at either baking bundt cakes or cookies. That grandmother is also one of your guides that's with you. She likes to communicate with you a lot at night. And the reason she's communicating with you so much at night is because you guys are constantly around people during the day, and you have a lot of people pulling on your energy. A lot of people, can you help me with this? I need you for this. And so it makes you very forgetful. The reason why you guys are so forgetful and have this short-term memory issue for some of you is because you have so many different people pulling on your energy. You can't stay in your own energy for very long without being interrupted until nighttime when you're winding down to go to bed. So pay attention to those messages, those things that you're remembering, those strong feelings that you're getting at night before you go to bed and as you're drifting off to sleep. That's this guy, this passed on loved one trying to communicate with you. Some of you come from a family of singers or musicians, specifically hearing a passed on loved one that was a musician. Group 4, a lot of what was coming up in your reading was what people are realizing and noticing about you now, more so than what they remember about you. People are noticing that you still look good. Like they're looking back to like your high school photos and looking at you now and like, man, this person has aged gracefully. They look gorgeous. They look really handsome. They're taking care of themselves. This group, there are many people that are on the taller side in this group as well. There's some girl dads in this group. That controlling spouse, by the way, that I mentioned, that there may be a controlling or whiny spouse. We're not gonna linger too much on those messages, but the spouse could be a Leo or Scorpio, the controlling spouse, or the whiny spouse, or the spouse that you feel like is a child you're taking care of, could be a Taurus or Aries. Controlling spouse could be a Taurus too. But we're going to get into the lighter messages. We are not going to linger on that message about the spouse. You guys know what you need to do for those who it applies to. And, this is where I have to give you the firm message so we can move on to everyone else and say, hey, it's a matter of how do you want to spend the rest of your life. I don't care what you think your family will think about you leaving this person. Your family loves you enough to where they don't want you to be unhappy. And the truth is going to be revealed about that person. And they're going to see that you're not the bad guy. But you have to be willing to put yourself first. And that applies to this entire group. All of you have to be willing to put yourself first because that's an issue for you all, group 4. Yeah, you all struggle with saying no to people, for sure. But have very enchanting eyes too. You guys have like either these deep set eyes, these enchanting eyes. People remember that about you. They remember how your eyes pull them in. There's also people that just naturally have compassion for you because they know, although you're very nice, people who are tapped in, people who are spiritually connected, like people who are intuitively connected, they know that you're not happy. And they really have sympathy for you. There are people remember just wanting to hug you. The people who were worthy of your kindness just remember feeling grateful for the things that you've done for them. Also have to say, group 4, you guys are overwhelmed. There's an anxious energy. And again, all this goes back to either people-pleasing tendencies, not doing what makes you happy, caring too much about what other people think, or this spouse situation that I mentioned. Yeah, I gotta be honest because this is what I do. I deliver the tough messages. There are some of you that are letting your children walk over you that have older children. The acceptance that you want from your children, the relationship that you want with your child or children, you will get that once you start demanding respect from them. There'll be a disconnect for a while. They're going to act out for a bit because this is new and you've been letting them, walk over you and disrespect you for some time. For some of you, it's not everyone. But ultimately, you stick to your guns. They're going to end up respecting you far more than they're doing right now. And it's going to strengthen your relationship. You trying not to upset them and doing the people-pleasing thing is just weakening your relationship. And it's going to show up in their romantic relationships, and it's going to be disappointing for you to watch. Okay, we're moving past that. This is supposed to be a light reading. There's a lot of good stuff here, though, because overall, I'm saying this because you guys are such nice people and just such sweet energy. You all deserve better. And that's why I'm giving you all these tough messages, because I want you to stand up for yourself. You know what's deep about this pile? You're liked by pretty much everyone. But the crazy part about it is you all don't really feel connected to anyone. And it all goes back to what we already said, so I'm not going to repeat it. I do want you to know that you guys are healers, though. Some of you all are into, you're working in the medical profession or holistic health profession or something involving healing, Reiki, something of that nature. But so there, I'm even hearing there's some comedians here, and laughter is healing. Along with there being a lot of taller people in this group, also many of you have larger feet. Now, last message before we get into the cards. For those of you that are divorced, or if you do divorce, when you remarry, because you will remarry, or if you were in a long-term relationship that you've gotten out of or walking away from, you will marry. And when you do, you're going to marry someone outside of your race, or that they're not from the state or country that you're from. Yep, drop it in the comments when it happens. Okay, group 4, let's get into these cards. What do people remember you by? How do people remember you? There we go. Booyah. Ooh. Sun, Moon, 11. First of all, some of you all were born in the 11th month of the year or on the 11th. And it's reminding me that Sagittarius energy was coming up in this group. There's also some Scorpios in this group, Virgos as well. Some of you all are a Cancer in a relationship with a Leo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Oh, you know what this 11 is making me remember? One of the things that came up in the channeled messages was you guys are currently seeing a lot of synchronicities. 1111, butterflies, feathers, even feathers on your walks, people telling you the same thing over and over again. You're hearing messages, like the same messages from multiple people. And for some of you, you're not listening. You're hearing it over and over again for a reason. God, your guides, whatever you believe in, they're trying to speak to you and let you know to take action and that they have you covered. Don't be afraid. Be fearless. Whatever that message is that some of you are continuously getting through people, maybe even through this reading, those synchronicities are confirmation that yes, do it. You're protected. You're going to be okay. You are a good person, so you're going to come out with the win in this situation. Group 4, before we move on, I want you to understand that you have all this good karma that you have accumulated in your karmic bank account, and you are not spending it. And you are worthy and have the right to spend it. Spend some of that good karma on yourself. You have all this good karma stacked up in your karmic bank account and you're not spending it. Some of you all have a lisp too, a very slight lisp. May not be noticeable to everyone. And when I think of lisp, I do think Gemini. Maybe a Gemini in this group too. Oh, that spouse could have a lisp as well. Could be the other way around. It could be the spouse. Group 4, I want you to do a better job of listening to your gut because you have great instincts. And for the times that you have trusted your gut and instincts, which I felt like you did that more so in the past, earlier in life, when you were younger, and now you don't trust your gut as much. But people that knew you earlier in life, they remember that your instincts were always spot on. Go back to trusting your gut because these synchronicities are trying to speak to you and give you confirmations so that you can tap back into those keen gut instincts that you've had since you were a child. There were things that you knew and were spot on about even as a small child, and adults from your childhood remember that. Close friends from your childhood remember that. They remember your keen instinct. And you really have to tap back into that, because all these other people pulling on your energy, it's diluting, it's making it's muddying the waters for you when it comes to tapping into your instinct. Let's see, what else do people remember about you, group 4? What do people remember about group 4? What do people remember about group 4? What is memorable about group 4? What do people always remember about group 4? Go to the other deck? All right. I heard to go to the other deck. So I think this deck, you know what? There's a message for you in reference to this deck. I was called to use this deck for you all, and I just love this deck. It doesn't pick up as well as I would like on camera, but this is a beautiful deck. Beautiful deck. I mentioned earlier that you all are attractive and just aging gracefully. This deck just has this dope, regal, beautiful, vintage look to it to me. And I just think that further confirms what I said about how gracefully you guys are aging. Some of you all really like prints when it comes to your clothes. Different prints. Jacquard, I think is how you say it. Jacquard prints. Is it called gingham style prints? Oh, there we go. What do people remember about group 4? Reverse. King of Wands. Yeah, and it came up in reverse. So, King of Wands, you guys saw it came up in the reverse. But, for one, King of Wands is Cancer and Leo energy. And remember I said for some of you all, you're a Cancer with the Leo spouse. So, that's further confirmation for that. But I have to read this for you all, because what I'm seeing for King of Wands is confirming some things that I've already said for you all. So stay with me. I'm not big on reading from the book, the deck, but when it's spot on with what I already said, then I'll touch on certain things just to confirm for you all the confirmation. So it says this card reverse indicates a time of restriction. Remember when I mentioned earlier about the workplace, the family business, someone in a higher position and you having a different vision for the business or the workplace? This goes right back to that. Okay, I'm going to continue reading just this last sentence about the King of Wands in reverse. Equally, check that you're not going against your intuition if you feel you're not following the right path. Drop the self-pressure and be open to alternative routes. Come on now. Is this not what a huge tone of the reading, if not the entire tone of the reading, has been about? This is confirmation. See, for any of you that have watched my earlier readings, you'll know many times I don't even use cards. I do appreciate the cards confirming. I do appreciate, like I tell people all the time, for those who are truly psychic, truly have mediumship abilities or what have you, the cards are just our cheerleaders to let us know we're barking up the right tree. And this card was spot on with what we've been talking about the entire reading. So, okay, group 4 has gotten the message. We thank you for this message for group 4. I would love some lighter messages for group 4 in terms of what people remember them by. Go to the box. Okay, I will go to the box. What people remember? Okay, this is my stash, you guys. I made this. Let's get some astrological. Well, we pulled some astrological signs. Oh, Pisces energy in this group too, by the way. So what do people remember my group 4 by? Group 4 is such a sweet, look at that, and how that fell out. Oh, come on, y'all. I picked this topic because I wanted this to be a lighter reading, nothing heavy. It says frenemies, envy. People remember how they envy you. There's some frenemies around. Those frenemies are around, though, because they envy you. So, hey, You're doing something right if people are envying you. But you know what people remember in the whole envy thing is how liked you are. You guys are, I told you earlier, you're liked by all, if not nearly all. And the ones who you're not liked by, that is because they're just miserable in their own lives. Because you guys are such sweet, kind people. There's no reason not to like you. Let's see. What else is in here for my group? Don't freeze up on me now. I'm going out of focus. My group 4. Mirrored karma. Ooh, see, that goes back to what I was saying about your karmic bank account. And me just wanting you guys to spend that karma, that all that good karma you have sitting in your karmic bank account. This mirrored karma, this is from all the good that you all have done. It is mirroring back to you. It wants to mirror back to you, but you're so busy giving to other people, you can't even take from your own karmic bank account and spend it. Okay, so you all are going to have to trust me on this one because I was going to sit this box on the floor and I was like, okay, why am I sitting this on the floor? Put it back on the table. And as I was going to do that, this fell out, which goes back to the grandparent I mentioned on the other side. This grandparent might have started the family business, for those of you who have the family business, or was the musician, or maybe the profession you're currently working in. That grandparent also worked in that profession or was good at it and maybe never made a career out of it. But you see that grandparent blessings? Yes, this is that grandparent speaking to you loudly. They want you to follow your bliss. They want to see you happy. And they are a mama bear when it comes to these people that are taking you for granted, that you're not being appreciated by. They are sending them through it. For some of you all, some of the people that are taking advantage of you, they're experiencing car trouble, may have recently gotten a flat tire or something like that, or they're really miserable in their job, and this is their karma for not appreciating the gem that you are. And that grandparent or that passed on loved one on the other side, I'm getting a chill before I even finish saying it. They are sending them through it. They're not having it. For every time that this person mistreats you, they're coming back with a woo wop bam. Like, do not mess with my grandbaby. Do not mess with my person. You know, yeah, this grandparent is for those of you where this is a grandparent, they're living vicariously through you. Like the things that the things that they did not get to do when they were here, they're like, oh, we're doing this with you because you love and enjoy the same things that they did. For those of you that message applies to. Let's wrap up on what people remember about group 4. Some encouraging messages to wrap up for group 4. Give me some encouraging messages for my group 4. Mindfulness. Okay. Yeah, that is right on par, because some of you all used to work out or have been trying to get back in the gym. That is actually going to be a form of mindfulness for you. Go to the gym by yourself. Don't let any of these people that want to tag along go with you. If you like working out, I want you to go by yourself. That is going to be a form of mindfulness for you all. It's going to be a de-stressor for you all. For some of you, I am concerned about your cardiovascular health because you're taking on a lot of stress. So yes, if it's yoga, if it's exercise, if it's long walks with your dog, if it's meditation, if it's all of the above, many of you need a vacation. Plan the vacation. Don't worry about how you're going to pay for it. Just take steps towards the vacation. These guardian angels that are over you, this grandparent or guides or God answering your prayers, whatever you believe in, just take baby steps towards manifesting that trip. And when you go on this trip, do not take the people that are stressing you out. Please, it defeats the purpose of me telling you to take the trip. Mindfulness can even be you journaling at night, taking yourself out to eat and just sitting down and writing, journaling while you're out to dinner with yourself at your favorite restaurant. And you need that because you don't have much time alone with your own thoughts, with all these people pulling on your energy. If you have children, people remember how much you love and adore your children. They are a top priority for you, and people respect that. You're a comforting energy, group 4. People will default to you for comfort, and it's a beautiful thing. But I want to make sure that you're pouring into your own cup before pouring into others, okay? If these messages helped you, the easiest way to tell me thank you for my time and energy is to simply like the video, subscribe, comment if you feel called to. Every group I chose an emoji, an icon for them to drop in the comments for their group. For you, group 4, you know the emoji where it like shows like the palm tree in the water. If you all are going to take my advice on that vacation, drop the palm tree in the water, or if you just want to manifest that vacation coming in, that's what we're doing. We're dropping the emoji with the palm tree and the water, the little vacation emoji. Yes, I want you all to know that you're worthy, group 4. I really hope these messages helped you all because that is my intention always, for you to leave this reading better than you were before you listened to it, okay? I'll see you on the next one.